Grand Rising, my friends. Welcome back for those who have been with me, and if it's your first time, hello, hey, we well, hey, up and at 'em. We up and at 'em here. So we every day we trying for mostly parts. I know there's gonna be some periods where, there may be shows filmed in advance to come, but well, this is, it's live when I'm filming it, so hey, but we out here. Hey, welcome. Interesting journeys that we're going to have. Some interesting topics to be had today. I'm a little bit excited, so we just want to jump into it. But here we're about that positivity, and that positivity is if there's somebody in your life that you admire, respect, love, and you want to give them a bit of a boost in their day, go ahead and write something nice about them in the comment section and forward them this video and say, hey, take a look, see if you can find what's written about you and give them a little bit of a jolt. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit ahead of where I'm at. Robots doing parkour is cool, but watching them fall is way more fun. Yeah, hey, that's some people still want to have a bit of a sense of dominance over everything. It has to be, and well, look, some would say insecurity. I'm not gonna go down that path right now. That's a different story for another thing. But we're gonna talk a little bit about Boston Dynamics and their robots. And robotics is one of the very important future innovations that we're going to be watching in this space and investing in the companies that now I think Boston Dynamics was owned by Google, but I think they were sold to somebody in Japan. I want to say Hyundai, either Nissan or Hyundai. I have to double check that, but Boston Dynamics have been the leaders in years for robotics, from their big dog applications, their spot production models, as well as their these Atlas prototypes. I am a fan. So this video, they talked about Atlas and how he did that, but then they also had some videos of the falls and stuff. Because hey, look, we're still in the early stages of it, but you gotta stumble to fly. Little baby birds don't just start off flying; they stumble around. Oh. It's these one guys who was a Corridor Digital. They have some hilarious their CGI, their computer generated special effects, but in terms of what it's like, how, because sometimes you feel like we're mistreating. And I guess when they're more humanoid, that's somehow to be be aware of, that we feel like you're mistreating them. For those of us who are not sociopaths. So anyway, Boston Dynamics put out a video where they were showing some work they've been doing on their Atlas prototypes, and the state of robotics is accelerating so much. So let's get here what we all here for. We're starting off early. Tesla is actually going to make a Tesla bot, humanoid robot for general purpose use. Tesla announced that it is actually going to make a humanoid robot called Tesla Bot, and it will be able to grab your groceries for you and perform other menial tasks. No, it is not a joke. At its AI Day today, Tesla released many details about its progress to develop AI technology to power its self-driving system. But as we expected, there was a one more thing, quote unquote. I'm putting my hands up in quote unquote motions. And it was robots. CEO Elon Musk announced that Tesla plans to build a humanoid robot called Tesla Bot. That'd be the name. The Techno King, even the name is hilarious. No, it's not a joke. No, it is not a joke. Now, for most people, yeah, this is straight out the blue. But I remember watching a video months ago, if not more than a year where Dave Lee, who is an individual here on YouTube, suggested that said, hey, when Tesla solves autonomy for their vehicles, that will also mean you solve autonomy for drones and you solve autonomy for robots. And, I don't know if this was something, he knew in advance or they were actually working on. It was just synchronicity. But this is not a joke. Musk described Tesla as already being the biggest robotic company in the world. I don't know if it's 100% true, but they're heavy into robotics. That's why ARK invests, which, none of this is ever financial advice, medical advice, relationship advice, or advice about anything. The ARK Invest has a huge portion of their robotics ETF, exchange traded fund, and ARK Invest is a company that has several exchange traded funds that you can invest in that are deep into innovation. And it's ran by Kathy Wood, someone to be writing down and looking up and understanding why and deciding what you want to do. But ARK Invest has Tesla already in their robotics ETF, futurist autonomization and robotics ETF, as a rather large share. Because they are one of the biggest robotic companies in the world. Considering the capability of its vehicles to see and understand the world around them, act on their information, the CEO believes that it makes sense for Tesla to use their significant advancements in computer vision, but instead of deploying in a robot on four wheels, the company will do it in a humanoid robot. Musk said the Tesla bot will be geared towards doing repetitive and boring tasks. Here are the basic specs for the robot. So it almost don't seem real. If this was on April 1st, I would say this is an April Fool's joke, but I don't think it is. 5'8", 125 pounds. So about human size, not, probably between the weight of a male and female. Height-wise, probably I would say closer to the average height of males. It can move up to 5 miles an hour. I don't know if that's speed limited or max, just period. The way it's designed, it can't move faster. And I'm do a little bit of speculation here for a little bit. I'm going to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but this will be more future. Carry capacity, 45 pounds. Deadlift, 150 pounds. Arm extend lift, 10 pounds. Now, look. I haven't said it to you guys yet, but I've been telling people we're going to have robots soon. We're going to have robot servants. And it looks like we were a lot closer than I thought. They're going to have the autopilot cameras, the full self-driving computer inside. Using a similar suite of AR hardware will enable Tesla to leverage the development that it is already doing in the process of delivering a full self-driving car. The main new sector of technology. So this also makes me believe that they feel they're very close to being done with autonomy for vehicles. If they now throwing it into ready to say we got a robot ready to come, they feel they're getting very close to level 5 autonomy. The main new sector of technology for Tesla is going to be the humanoid format, which Tesla released only a few details about. Lightweight materials, 40 electromechanical actuators. So they got 12 actuators in the arms. For anybody who don't know, actuator is, and I had to do more on this myself, but it is almost, think of it like a joint. So that it can be specifically controlled to a minute detail. So 12 of these actuators in the arms, legs, 2 in the torso, 2 in the neck, and 12 in the hands. Human level hands. On the front, we previously reported that Tesla has been working with famed roboticist Dennis Hung, who specialized in humanoid robots. While Musk didn't go into many details about the overall capabilities of the Tesla bot and exactly what task it will be able to do, he hinted that the ultimate goal is for the robot to eventually be able to replace most dangerous, repetitive, and boring tasks. So my thought is, and they may have talked about it in here as well. Blah blah blah. Synergy, Tesla. There's something about the cars. So my thought was, hey, SpaceX. Guess what we sending to Mars? We can pack 100 humans in Starship. We could probably pack about 200 or 300 of these in there, and guess what they can build? Whatever we need them to build. Hey, we having problems with Fukushima. Guess who we can put in some shielding and send in there? Now, we're not even going to get into that discussion now. We'll look at them as tools, that they'll be just tools at this point. Now, of course, you can say you have people who get fearful of them chasing you down and this and that. And that's why, look, 125 pounds, 5'8", 5 miles an hour. Like I said, I don't know if these are hard stops in terms of they can and not go past. Or I had a crazy thought a second as I was saying it earlier, reading the stats. Like, what if they start hacking each other and building onto each other, making them bigger, stronger, weaponry in there? That's always a possibility. But I'm going with the more positive. That's what we are. We've been here so far. We're going to continue to do. Now it's just the future. Now, of course, I'm thinking at 150 pounds deadlift, you got this now being able to help out with individuals who have disabilities or who have infirmaries that are keeping them from being able to move. So a lot of these tasks and warehouse that we need, there's a world designed for, like I say, world built for humans, built by humans for humans. They're able to now do some of these tasks and take the weight away. But comes again, same as we had the weed killing robots the other day. Well, what becomes with the workers who normally were doing that job? We can't just not think about that and take care of it when it happens. That's how you have huge problems. As soon as you identify a problem, start just brainstorming. You ain't got to come up with the right answer day one. Just start brainstorming what the solution may be, so that as you get closer to that period, you at least have an idea. But like I said, there's no specific rules to any of this work, so we'll see what happens. But this is awesome. This is awesome. So a lot of people don't understand that Tesla is very close to being able to have their cars being able to drive you throughout the world, even if it's never seen that road, autonomously, because it will be able to. And this is where I tell people when they, some people, get mad because I say, I'm sorry, but okay, we have artificial intelligence that can drive. Now it can drive, say, two times better than all humans combined, 2 times better, or now 10 times better. So we go from 30,000 accidents in America a year to 100, 10, a couple 10. If we take humans out of the driving the vehicles, what do we do? What do we do? So you can already imagine individuals are going to fight for their right to be able to kill themselves and others with vehicles, because that's. I stopped talking on purpose because I just as I joke even said, it's the sad part of it is that it's true. Now, granted, we'll have those discussions as we get closer to that point, I imagine. So, humanoid robots that will be walking around, getting in and out of autonomous vehicles, instead of your DoorDash and your Grubhub, look, it may become like car subscription service. You don't even gonna have a car no more. You'll just hit your app, Tesla app. A vehicle will be outside when you want. It'll track your phone, and be there when you get there. And even if you decide you're not gonna go, you send. You probably be able to name your robots. You seen your bot. It go get in the car, go to the store, or go pick up your food, come back. But by then, one of these other stories, I don't know if it's today or another, or I think it's a different day. We'll talk about how pretty soon you'll be 3D printing your food at your house anyway. Oh no, I believe that's next. Yes. An Optimist's Guide to the Future: How Quantum AI Could Make Earth a Paradise. This individual says, I believe quantum computing has the ability to impact our species in a way that's nothing short of the emergence of a physical god or the arrival of advanced alien benefactor can. I'm not the only person who feels this way. I agree. Many experts believe exploiting quantum mechanics will revolutionize our understanding of the universe and propel our species towards an ultimate understanding of everything. Not quite everything. Now, you know, we sometimes strive too hard to be the creator. And that never works out. Maybe we'll do a separate thing where we talk about lore from history and past, what happens to those who have the folly to believe that they can understand everything. Maybe a lot. We're meant to, we're beings to discover a tremendous amount, more than we know now, vastly more than we know now. But we have to always show humility in that understanding of the price of that knowledge, of the cost of that understanding. So anyway, quantum computing will help give us the ability to, hey, look, we've been studying diseases for thousands of years. In the modern era, we discovered vaccinations, life-saving treatments, and cures for afflictions that have persisted for longer than recorded history. Plenty of work left. Diseases such as cancer remain uncured and horrifically prolific. Quantum computers can change that. Creating a treatment or cure for something as complex as cancer is monumentally difficult. The sheer number of chemical combinations in the world is enough to bog down even the most powerful supercomputers. But quantum computing can increase our ability to discover new drugs and chemical interactions by factors. Healthcare, so as a potential investment thought in the future, healthcare companies that are engaging, looking at quantum computing and biology, QuantumScape, may have a leg up on other companies who still think this is pie in the sky and not going to occur because they are making blockbuster decisions in the Netflix world. Talking about getting rid of war in the war where I like this one right here. They said, what if there's a quantum algorithm running on advanced computers could conceivably make personal deflector shields, like a combination between a force field and a super fast drone, a real thing. It's possible we could develop passive defensive technologies that render kinetic attacks useless in most personal scenarios. Imagine you're walking down the street without a care in the world when an evil mugger leaps out from an alley. A dark alley. The mugger demands your money. You say no, and pow, they shoot you. Like, pow. Only your AI intercepts by placing itself between you and the bullet. Then it proceeds to alert the authorities on its own, sends footage, and handles all the questioning while you just keep on walking without the care in the world. Like, it's just keeping an eye on anything and any attack. Or the military getting to the point where it's almost impossible to thread missiles through quantum-based defenses. Quantum communication, data teleportation, and other adjacent technologies could make cyber attacks nearly impossible. So we get to a world where the quantum computers are so advanced that it's almost impossible. It becomes pointless. It should be pointless to fight amongst ourselves regardless. And if it comes to the day we need the computers to tell us that we shouldn't fight amongst ourselves, then, hey. But I'll take anybody who get us off that. This was talking about same technology could power drug discovery, and cold fusion machines could potentially be used to discover nutritionally viable methods of food synthesis. In essence, that would mean the invention of a machine that could produce food from ambient available resources, like a 3D printer that makes nutritionally viable food paste out of thin air, out of air and mud, or the replica from Star Trek. And it's also talking about beating death, because I talk about being able to reconfigure our DNA, telomeres, being able to manipulate telomeres. Telomeres, think of it, are like the end of shoestrings on your DNA, and you can tell the age of a cell or the organism it is by the degradation, meaning how the telomeres have worn down over time. And so they're saying, being able to go back and repair a lot of our cellular parts. Woofa. So can AI change the world with quantum computing? Potentially, yes. It's weird. They got a picture of Vision holding the world. There's a story where the Vision, as a supercomputer, decided it was best if he took over the world. It would be better to protect everyone because, of course, humans are fragile, frail, fallible creatures. So that was not a good story. I mean, it was a great story. I'm just saying it was not a good look by Vision trying to take over the world. This is in the comic books years ago. Going on. Because why would I stay there on that? I'm playing. What in the absolute hell does Palantir know that we don't? Now, this person here has a very negative view of the company Palantir. And I'll just read a little bit because, I'm more just going to point out as opposed to just read. Because this person has a very biased opinion. And, Palantir, the Bond villain big data surveillance company with a Bond villain name. And the name is from like Lord of the Rings of like a ball that it's a nerdy people and making nerdy names. I'm not gonna call them nerdy people. Individuals who like, because I'm the same way. Individuals who like, their rims and their what they like. It has something to do with like almost like a seeing device from I think Lord of the Rings, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, with a Bond villain name that routinely and openly aids in killing people like most Bond villains do. Palantir. This is such bias. I barely want to even read. Anyway, they go accept Bitcoin, and also they bought $51 million in gold bars, 100-ounce gold bars. So I think they just hopefully just gave unbiased in saying that. The information can be found buried within the company's recent Q2 SEC filings, which confirmed that just earlier this month, the company purchased 50.7 million in 100-ounce gold bars. Such purchase will initially be kept in a secure third-party facility located in the northeastern United States, and the company is able to take physical possession of the gold bar stored at the facility at any time with reasonable notice. And then they're here like, what do they know that we don't? Why y'all getting Bitcoin and gold? Because Palantir collects a lot of data. And for that, I haven't talked much about Palantir, but we should. Palantir is a publicly traded company that you can invest in. The stock is around 24-ish when it IPO'd. The pre-IPO price was 7. It IPO'd around 11, dropped back down to 9, 8-ish. Eventually then boomed up to, I think in the high 30s, maybe early 40s for a while. It's been hovering around 20, went down to 16 a couple months back up to 24. It's been in that range around 20, 25 for a couple months. And when it goes, go. I believe Palantir is going to do really well. What Palantir is basically a data company that can correlate massive amount of data and then be able to interpret that data and make it usable. I may not be the best to explain how they'll be much better than me with that, but then they take that data and make it usable. So in other words, a lot of organizations, and so they got to start with the United States, especially the military, and this way all these people get also angry about them, about what they have done, is that the military have all these different organizations that generate tremendous amount of data, and it's hard to synthesize that in a way to make it make sense that's usable in a timely fashion. So Palantir, Peter Thiel, Alex Carp, it's always a third guy who always super smart because he's the one who named, no one ever talks about, who hides out, create this company that was able to take all this data and able to put it in a way where it became almost like, and that's was probably the company that the Pentagon is probably using or helping to use to build that the computer system that is able to quote unquote see a couple days in the future. I wouldn't be surprised if it ain't Palantir deep involved in that. Palantir is investing in a lot of companies. They are investing in a lot of companies that are starting in robotics, in aviation, looking to the future of air taxis. They are also a lot of very wealthy organizations, companies invest in Palantir and use Palantir services. And most people didn't even know they were private for probably almost 20 years, if not more so, before they went public last year. And I remember getting invested. It was like, man, Palantir, if it go public, I'm definitely getting involved in there. So it has they have a reputation. They were involved with helping ICE because, like I said, all the U.S. governments realized, oh my God, these individuals, this company can put together all this data and make it to where another beautiful part of it is not only can you synthesize all this data, and so this is what a lot of people, you got to kind of understand, or maybe you just think it's all a lie, is that they are huge protectors, or want to be huge protectors, the founders of Palantir, of privacy. And, Peter Thiel is a supporter of a Republican supporter. And in here, they even talked about how he buys estates around the world to potentially escape to if there's ever, huge enough calamity. But Alex Carp it seems to be a very straightforward defender of civil rights and individuals' right to privacy. And so they said, when we designed this, we knew someone's going to design this type of software. We said we may as well get ahead of it and make it to where it has safeguards, to where we protect people's privacy. So in the software, besides being able to collect all this data, synthesize it, and make it to where you can really start to see patterns in people's behavior, people think the Palantir software is what caught bin Laden. You can also set up these kind of like layers in the data to where only certain people have access to certain data at any certain time. So where I'm not even, I'm sure the people who set it up have access to everything at once, but not everyone who has access to the data can see, they'll have stuff like, for example, say that Palantir had data of Americans, they would know everything in your phone, everything that you watched on your television. They would know what temperature was in your house, what vehicles came and left your house, and the times and everything. So imagine this is all, you're in another country. This is what Palantir knows about you. So everything in your phone, every picture, every text message, every email, every click, every look, how long you looked, the microphone may be on, maybe recording that, taking pictures, and that's so if you don't have a phone, okay, hey, you ain't got a phone, but if you leave your house, you have a car, you drive somewhere, the every time you hear about these license plate scanners, the cameras, and you see all of that, they're trying to hoover all of that information up and create a profile of you. Not trying. So Palantir bought a bunch of gold, and now they're trying to get other Bitcoin, other cryptocurrencies on their ledger. Peter Thiel has actually always been a mentor to Elon Musk. If I'm not mistaken, they were both in PayPal together. So it's not surprising that Palantir is putting Bitcoin on their ledger. The 50 million 100-ounce gold bars, I won't lie, is a little surprising. But hey, we're here to make money on anything. So precious metals is not something bad to add to your, we'll say war chest, but that's a little bit happy chest, your peace chest, your Happy time, place, money muns. Coinbase is adding a half a bill, 500 mil of crypto to its balance sheet. CEO Brian Armstrong is also be reinvesting 10% of all future profits into cryptocurrencies. Basically, that in a nutshell, they're about to buy another 500,000 of cryptocurrencies. Right now, they only have 365 million in crypto. Of that, 230 million was in Bitcoin. This was in their S1 filing when they came public, which was not too long ago. 53 million in Ethereum, 49 million in stable coins, 34 million other crypto assets. They have a lot less than a lot of other firms like MicroStrategy and Tesla, we just spoke a little bit about. But back-to-back record quarterly profits, first up to 800 million in Q1 and then 1.6 billion. So they doubled from Q1 to Q2. In Q2, have convinced Coinbase's board that it has room to diversify its holdings. The exchange, which makes most of its money from transaction fees, they ain't never lied. That's how they make their money. And so, but they about to buy a bunch of Bitcoin. Now, I know their CEO has talked about he want to have more of their money. He says here more of their business in crypto. But you know, he playing the game right. You know, you gotta make everybody feel comfortable before you can go whole hog. Now, who going whole hog here? Second largest U.S. mortgage lender will accept payment in Bitcoin. United Wholesale Mortgage announced plans this week to accept cryptocurrency for home loans, an apparent first for the national mortgage industry. The company hopes to start accepting Bitcoin in Q3 and is currently weighing other digital currencies like Ether. The second largest mortgage lender in the United States is about to start accepting cryptocurrency. It almost don't seem real, some of this stuff at times. You know, we've imagined this for us who've been in the space for a little bit of time. We've imagined this, but to see it come to just stark reality is just. I ain't even talked about. Let's go here for a second. It dropped a little bit down, but the market is looking beautiful. We about to pass 50,000 in Bitcoin, and when that happens, I think it's going to be even more of an explosion of price, because for some reason, and it's psychology, and we'll talk about that at some point, these artificial numbers like 40,000, $10,000 Bitcoin, $20,000 Bitcoin. Will it get back to 20,000? Will it get back to 20? It may not get back to 10. 20, 30,000, 40, 50,000, 60,000 Bitcoin. Holla at me when it's 100,000. Holla at me when it's 1,000,000. So, hey. Starting later this year, U.S. homebuyers will have the option to pay for their mortgage in Bitcoin. United Wholesale Mortgage, which made its public debut, I think I butchered that another day as well, in January via special purpose acquisition merger, SPAC, announced plans this week to accept cryptocurrency for home loans in what is being billed as a first for the national mortgage industry. They're trying to get a jump. They understand that, and they're going up against Quicken, which is the largest. It's weird they're both up in Detroit, because I think they say this place, United Wholesale, is also up in a D. Or it's Michigan based, so I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, Quicken's up in the D. So, second largest mortgage lender is about to start accepting crypto. Do not spend your crypto on stuff like this. Save your crypto. We'll discuss what to do with that in the future. You'll let other people. You'll borrow loans against your crypto and let people. We'll discuss that at some point, but don't sell crypto for this. You'll be so upset with yourself for the future. With that said, I love you. You love yourself. God loves us. And that's all that matters.